I spoke before about the greatness that is going on in women's basketball, both college and pro. The WNBA is in its off season, and they have hit a home run in Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart's unrivaled league, where you had six players on six different teams, all some form of WNBA star or all star, getting a chance to stay at home in the United States and get paid. What's really amazing was when they did the concept of the unrivaled 1v1, the one versus one. It was amazing. You had superstar players, no egos involved, playing each other one versus one in a tournament where the winner received $200,000. Any of us that know WNBA understand that $200,000 is amongst the highest of a star player's salary, and a lot of players in the league don't make that much. So to have a tournament where a player can get that $200,000 or the $100,000 or whatever the second and third places came to be, it was just a great watch. And as I said before, a great concept. Step into the side just for a minute in conversation. This is something that I will never visualize seeing in the men's NBA one on one in front of cameras. There's that fragile ego syndrome that doesn't want you to lose without losing with a team with you. It's how I see it. These women showcased. They really did their thing. Also, as I just spoke about, the hot heat is also going on in the women's college right now. And my thing is, and I've been speaking about this here, I keep telling you that I want to be your cheat code to the women's sports scene, especially when it comes to basketball, college and pro. If you have been following, you know how great this season has been. Top teams are taking losses. Top teams are playing each other. It ought to make for a great tournament when it's time for the tournament. South Carolina has lost. UConn has lost. USC has lost. And UCLA was the last team to take a loss. So even from the level of the seniors down to the freshmen, you're talking about star quality in this women's basketball situation. So let me state a few things right quick. When you're talking about seniors in women's college basketball, we're talking Paige Beckers, we're talking Anissa Morrow, we're talking about Kiki Iria Afen, we're talking about Georgia Amore, just to name a few seniors. A few juniors to mention. We want to talk about Olivia Miles, Flau'jae Johnson, Lauren Betts, Tania Latson, and AZ Fudd, just to name a few. The great part is what I'm about to say now. Those are your seniors and your juniors that's going to be in the WNBA soon. But those of us that's anxious, we're waiting on these sophomores and these freshmen to come. We got sophomores such as Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo, Madison Booker, Malaysia Wiley, and Audie Crooks. I just named some of my favorite players in the women's game. I love Audie Crooks. I love Juju. Now, my freshmen that I want to speak to you all about, some came in with a lot of flair about their name and everything else. Some you probably did not know about. But when you're talking the freshmen, you're talking about Sarah Strong, Silas Swords, Joyce Edwards, and Michaela Blakes. Now, once again, I have to keep saying, I just only had time to name a few. There's a lot more seniors, sophomores, juniors, and freshmen that I didn't name. I didn't have time to go through all of them. Women's basketball is in great hands right now. And my big prediction, and this is not the first time I mentioned this, I said this before. I predict that women's basketball will pass men's basketball in the next 4 to 5 years. These freshmen that are in and these sophomores that are in, when they hit the WNBA and that fan base follows them from college to the WNBA, for the fans that the WNBA already has, it's going to be a wrap. They play so fundamentally sound. They play team basketball. I am so sick of watching men's basketball, college and pro. 3-pointer, 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 dunk, dunk, dunk. 3-pointer, 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 dunk, dunk, dunk. I watched an NBA game today. Pro players shoot, and this is Philadelphia, 7 for 38 from the 3-point line. It's ridiculous. Now, I understand that there's some women basketball that's still shooting the 3-pointers like crazy, especially LSU. But I watched Texas play, the women Texas, Madison Booker and team. They won the game. They shot like 3 or 4 3-pointers the whole dang game. This is what I love. It was fundamentals. It was post-ups. It was rebounds. It was amazing. So, like I stated, I don't want to be the doom and gloom of the men's basketball, but they need to change something. It's not as exciting to watch as the women anymore. But I made this video because I wanted to talk about that last freshman I talked about. I want to talk about Michaela Blakes. She is a 5'8" freshman, and she comes out of Somerset, New Jersey. She's a scorer. She is a ball of energy, and she plays great defense. I'm watching her as I'm watching a lot of the other women, but she is the one that I've been noticing that every week she plays, she's getting better. I watched Juju as a freshman, and Juju did not disappoint. She was wonderful. She was great. But I'm seeing, if anybody else is seeing it too, let me know. I'm seeing Michaela Blakes do things that Juju wasn't doing. And don't get me wrong, last year Juju did not have the help as well, and I think Michaela's in the same situation where she has to do all these things. I'm going to speak about Michaela in her high school, as she was a McDonald's All-American. She ranked number 8 in her high school class in women's basketball for the 2024 season. And she also was the 2024 New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. She led her high school, which is called Rutgers Prep, to 3 straight state championships. She was a 4.0 student in school. And when choosing a school to go to, she chose Vanderbilt. She chose Vanderbilt over Indiana, UCLA, Stanford, Wisconsin, Tennessee, and even in her own area, Rutgers. Her brother Jalen played once upon a time with Duke. He is now transferred to play at Stanford. Michaela, for those who don't know, a few weeks ago, playing against Florida, she scored 53 points. Those 53 points was the NCAA record for a freshman in scoring. And we applauded, and we said, wow, amazing. Let's start really watching her. Well, it was good to watch her because in a week or so later, she scored 55 points against Auburn. So she broke her own record a week or so later. She is averaging this season 23 points a game, 3.4 rebounds a game, 3.1 assists per game, and she has a field goal percentage of 46.7%. But the only thing that I'm going to speak about in, you can call it negative, but it's not a highlight, is that I don't know how in the hell she was able to only score 5 points against Alabama A&M University. But I will say she did only play 17 minutes. I don't know if she was under the weather. I don't know if she, just couldn't finish the whole game. But that's been the low point. But right after that, she started taking off again. 32 points here, 28 points here. She is a fantastic player. Now, the problem that Michaela is going to run into is the dominant teams, your Notre Dame, your UConns, your South Carolinas, your USC, your UCLA, your Texas, those teams, they all have team involvement. And I'm not trying to say anything negative when I say so. I'm going to put it in a positive light. You look at Notre Dame, you have Hannah Hidalgo, you have Olivia Miles, you have Sonia Citron, and you have Kate Caval. So they have a nice team. USC, as I spoke before, you got Juju and you got Kiki. Then you look at a team like South Carolina. South Carolina has Joyce Edwards, a freshman, to go along with Tahina Pow and having a Malaysia Fulwiley, who I spoke of earlier. You also, like I said, UConn has a very nice team. Texas has a very nice team. I don't have the time to name everyone. I just wanted to give you an example. In my opinion, the problem is that our girl Michaela doesn't have that type of team support as yet. So we'll see how that comes about. As I was talking about before, like last year with Audie Brooks. I don't think Audie had the help. But once that tournament happened, and they played one of the bigger schools, I do believe it was Maryland, they were down by 20 points in the first round of that tournament. My girl Audie took off on them. She scored that 40 points. She carried her team to a win to advance in the tournament. I can see Michaela doing something like that. The problem is when you're running against a great team that has 2 and 3 and 4 stars, you'll either tire or hopefully you just don't get discouraged. So, my thing is, I'm putting it out there to keep an eye on Michaela and watch how great this youngster is. I really like her game. I feel like the reason why I'm speaking about her, I think Michaela Blakes is what is called box office. She's just getting started. She's just getting warmed up. So, with that being said, I'm going to close out that. But let you all know that I gave you the cheat code once again. Talked about up and down, pro, seniors, sophomore, junior, freshman. And you all need to catch up if you haven't seen it yet. You're missing something good. So, with that, I'll say bye bye and take care.